The United States is going to experience in the not too distant future the most tragic earthquake in its history. One day soon, this nation will be reeling under the impact of the biggest news story of modern times. It will be coverage of the biggest, most disastrous earthquake in history. This earthquake will cause widespread panic and fear. Without a doubt, it will become one of the most completely reported earthquakes ever. Television networks will suspend all programming and carry all-day coverage. Another earthquake, possibly in Japan, may precede the one I see coming here. There is not the slightest doubt in my mind about this forthcoming massive earthquake on our continent. I believe it will be many times more severe than the San Francisco quake. I am not at all convinced that this earthquake will take place in California. In fact, I believe it is going to take place where it is least expected. This terrible earthquake may happen in an area that's not known as an earthquake belt. It will be so high on the Richter scale that it will trigger two other major earthquakes. I also believe we're going to see, later, a major earthquake in the Aleutian Islands, which will result in a number of smaller earthquakes and aftershocks all along the west coast of the United States. Without a doubt, earthquakes are going to strike the United States and other parts of the world with growing intensity. Concern about earthquakes will be uppermost in forthcoming years. News about government scandals, news about war, and even economic problems will be completely overshadowed by earthquakes. Within minutes after this quake hits, the whole country will know it, and millions will be stunned and shocked. Thousands will be affected with much loss of life and millions of dollars worth of damage. Minor earthquakes, aftershocks, and tremors will be recorded almost daily throughout the world. Earthquakes will become the #1 cause of fear and consternation. The earth is actually going to shake, and there will be numerous other earthquakes in various places throughout the world. This is one kind of judgment that cannot be explained by the scientists. It is supernatural intervention into the affairs of men. It is an act of God causing havoc and judgment, calling men to repentance and reverence. It can strike at any time, and there is no way to deter it. Men will just have to stand back in awe and terror as the power of God is demonstrated in the earthquake. I believe the recent earthquakes in Nicaragua and Mexico were a warning from heaven that this is just the beginning. Seismic laboratories are even now recording tremors and aftershocks almost daily around the world. Famine is. Strange happenings in nature will baffle scientists. Earth eruptions, blood and moon haze, strange signs in the heavens such as cosmic storms. These and other events never before seen will cause many to wonder. The haze hanging in the cosmos will turn the moon red and will cause periods of darkness over the earth, almost as though the sun refused to shine. Nature will go wild. Nature will unleash its fury with increasing intensity over the next decade. There will be short periods of relief, but almost every day mankind will witness the wrath of nature somewhere in the world. These record-breaking changes will be above and beyond anything experienced in the past. Floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes will destroy crops, animals, and much wildlife, driving prices even higher and causing some experts to suggest that nature is losing its balance. Weather will become increasingly difficult to forecast. Sudden storms will appear without warning. Southernmost regions will be gripped by record cold waves, and northern areas will experience record heat waves. There will be periods of relief when men will say, "Things continue as they were from the very foundation of the earth. There's nothing unusual about what's happening, so be at ease." Discerning people will have within them an innate knowledge that God is behind these strange events and is unleashing the fury of nature to force men into a mood of concern about eternal values. These violent reactions of nature will clearly be orchestrated by God to warn mankind of the coming days of wrath and judgment. It is almost as though all heaven is crying out, "O earth, Heed his call. He holds the pillars of earth in his hands. He will shake the earth until his voice is heard. He rides king of the flood and lord of the winds and rains. Mankind will yearn for a return to normal conditions, but the time is coming when there will be no return. God has aroused himself as one who awakens from sleep, and his anger is kindled towards stubborn and sinful men. He will eventually melt the very elements with fervent heat. But until that last hour, when this earth shall pass away, God will pour out his vials of wrath. The God of nature will use his judgments to reveal his power in warning mankind to flee from his wrath. Short periods of relief. Many men will appear to be repentant during the times of violent chastisement by nature, but the short periods of relief will make it appear that nature has settled down, and men will be comforted by warmth, sunshine, and normal seasonal weather. But more violence, far worse, will soon follow. Airline pilots will be reporting the worst flying conditions in aviation history. The most intense hurricanes are coming. Many parts of the world face the most violent winters of all times.